Hello, hello, hello. It's the
Hi,
princess and the
everybody.
priest.
It's us.
We're back. It's the
Yay!
next week. And today we get to talk about tithes and offerings.
Oh, let me tell you, this is one thing that kind of makes a lot of people balk, stop, freeze up, and go, "Oh, I didn't know I was going to have to do something like that. Oh my goodness!"
Yeah.
Pardon
Anyway.
me. There it is.
Hey, that looks like my silver I put in my
Oh my
knees.
gosh. Don't talk about that. They'll be coming to take your
My
silver
knees.
from you. To take care of your knees with.
Yeah. Okay, if you count those.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is there 9 of them?
There's 9 of them There's 9 of them in this stack.
Yeah.
And there's only one over here because it's 1/10, 1 out of 10.
That's right. Just like that. Oh. Oh, okay. We don't need that anymore. Thank you. All right.
Okay.
Oh, this is something that's very old. That's in the Bible, and I think a lot of people just really say, no."
It doesn't pertain to me anymore.
No.
This is old stuff.
Well, you can hope so, but it's not.
No, I know. I can remember.
Lisa's a good person. She pays her tithing very faithfully.
I can remember at my last job before I left on my mission,
Uh-huh.
they discovered that I paid 1/10 of my gross income.
Gross, not net. Well, that's just us.
Yes, to the church.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Are you crazy?"
If you pay tithing based on your gross income, you will get gross income blessings.
I just figure I have everything covered if I do gross. So
Yeah.
I don't
If
want
you
to
just
cheat the
do it-
Lord in any way.
If you just do it on net, you'll just get net blessings, which isn't as much. You know, he says, "Well, I'm going to take out this because of this. I'm going to take out that because of that," and I'm not that kind of a guy. I say, "Man, I want all of it."
Okay,
Sorry.
so and Heavenly Father has given us everything, including the very air that we breathe.
That's true.
And
And this is all he asks for, really, in return.
is 1/10 of what we make.
And of course, total obedience.
Well, yeah, and
That sounds bad, doesn't it?
and faith and trust and yeah. Anyway,
Love, basically. Trust and love go together, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So does faith and trust. Okay.
Yeah,
So-
faith. Well, faith is the act of trust, I think. Anyway. we're
Okay,
not talking about
anyway, this is one way that we can show him how grateful we are for everything that he has given to us.
that. Yes.
All of our blessings. And so when we pay these things, we're showing him that we love him and that we're grateful to him and that we're willing to obey anything that he asks of us.
Obey, because this is a big one. Like I said, a lot of people talk a good talk, but when it comes to the tithe, it can
make you or break you.
Yeah, there you go. I like the way you say that. What's an honest tithe? Oh well, we're gonna get tricky.
Okay, and like I said, I told them that I paid 1/10 to my work, right?
Right.
And they said,
And their jaw dropped.
why so much? And I said, well, that's what the Bible says. And they said, oh, it does not. So
You showed
I
to 'em.
brought my Bible the next day and I showed him all of these verses and talking about 1/10. And they were like, oh, you're crazy. You're just crazy. I couldn't do that.
And that's why they all stayed Catholic, is because the Catholic Church has no such requirement at all.
So anyway, but I know that by doing so, not only am I blessed, but I get to show him that I love him and I'm willing to do whatever he asks me.
There you go. And because Lisa pays all of her tithing, I do too, because we have everything in common. Mwah.
And
I've never had a problem with it.
I've always paid tithing
She has.
since a very little girl, and started
She's
making
really
money.
good. I don't remember. I didn't ever get money until I started working, and I don't remember if I paid full tithing on my money before we got married. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't remember.
that would be sad.
I don't remember. I might have.
I can
don't
remember
know.
my mom got us, each one of us girls, a box, and one of them said, and there were like compartmentalized into
yeah.
3 different things.
Yeah.
And the first one was tithe, and the second one was savings, and the third one was our spending money.
Oh.
We could spend it on whatever we wanted.
Okay. I had seen the ones that said you had to save up for your mission.
Well, savings could have been for that. But
Could have been.
Anyway.
All right. The First Presidency, which is the ruling body of the church, has explained that 1/10 of their interest annually refers to our income.
Correct.
So yeah, you start
Breathe.
hyperventilating real fast. If you're not accustomed to this and it hasn't just been a fucking... I don't have to worry about it because honestly, we've been so blessed over the years financially that I feel much more than compensated for tithing. Much more than I feel like for being taxed by the government. I resent that one. But I'm perfectly happy with being tithed by, if the government only took 10% of my income, I'd probably be pretty happy too. Although,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they probably do. Well, they probably pay a little more. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Willingly. You shouldn't bear a grudge toward it.
And the thing is that, okay, Stephen L. Richards said when one pays his tithing without enjoyment, he is robbed of a part of the blessing.
That's right, Rob.
He must learn to give cheerfully, willingly, and joyfully, and his gift will be blessed.
Yes.
And I
It's true.
find joy in paying tithe. I feel terrible when I don't pay my tithe.
Boy, it does. Well, now, see, we now you can do it online, which is the predominant way we do it.
Yeah.
And yes, boy, let me tell you, if we come back and Lisa just doesn't feel like the tithing got paid, we'll go back and sure enough, she was right. We didn't pay her tithing.
And we catch up. And
Yeah.
it only takes about a week, maybe 2 at the longest, before it's like,
Something's wrong.
I don't think we paid tithe.
Something's wrong here. Yeah,
And it's just a feeling. I just know.
it's crazy. But Lisa's not crazy. She's wonderful.
Thank you.
I don't mean to say like she's nuts. It's my job. I'm nuts.
Okay, and so
What do we use the money for?
right, what do we use it for?
No, it's not just tithing, it's other offerings too. But tithing is the big one that's actually, it's actually 10%.
Yes.
The other things are totally up to you, whether you pay them and how much you pay them and how it goes. But anyway, so okay, here we go. Number 1. Build and maintain and operate temples and meeting houses and other buildings that are in Salt Lake City that we don't use.
Because we live 1,000
Yeah, we
miles away.
live a long way away and it doesn't really matter. But that's okay. I'm not going to get weird. Operating funds for stakes and wards and other units of the church someplace else, which we also don't know anything about. Da, 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 da.
Including
What?
teaching the gospel, conducting social activities, things
Yeah?
like that, apparently.
Where's this? Teaching the gospel. Teaching the gospel. What is that like on TV? Those ads on TV?
Funds to carry out the ecclesiastical
Oh,
programs
the
of the
units
church.
do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Why not? Okay. I'm good with it. Help the
Okay.
missionary program. Although it doesn't pay for the missionary program, missionaries pay for it themselves.
Right.
See, isn't that tricky when you go, well, I gave 10% to the church. How come I have to pay for my own missionary experience too? You go, get used to how the Lord works, man. And I'm not trying to be rude about it. It's just, this is how it is. This is definitely a gospel of sacrifice and
anyone who
consecration.
Yes. Anyone who runs a business knows, okay, I've got a storefront, so I have rent to pay. I've got utilities to pay for that building. I've got computers running, so I need, paper, copy machines, all this equipment, all this paraphernalia. Anyway, that helps pay for that in the mission.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps in the missionary program that way.
Well, yeah, that's fine.
And that's one of the ways you could look at it.
Sure.
Anyway,
Them books.
it also takes care of some church schools, which they have occasionally throughout the world, and their seminaries and institutes, which are pretty much in each unit or stake.
Yeah.
And then they also print things like the Book of Mormon and distribute lesson materials.
Right.
Like
we have one of those.
Yes, every year we do Come Follow Me for home and church, and so you can get.
We can show you the book, but okay. Well, here it comes. See, here it goes. Here's Lisa going to show you what it looks like for this year. It looks like that, and let me tell you, show them how thick it is. Isn't that a thick booger to keep you busy all year long? The old copies used to be thinner. This is getting a lot thicker now because it's fulfilling all the requirements.
Yes, it's including activities for children and stuff like that.
Yeah, which, I don't have any kids
And then there's
that age anymore. Oh, I'm sorry.
Family history and temple work.
Oh, that's what we've been doing lately.
Yeah.
We've been working that one pretty hard.
So, and then there's other offerings when the title is Tithes and Offerings, and these are the offerings that we're going to be talking about now.
Right.
Which is, the first, of course, is fast offerings. I think we kind of talked about this when we talked about fasting, where each...
We already talked about it?
I think so.
Oh.
We, skip 2 consecutive meals with, no food, no drink, and then you take the money that you would have spent on those meals and you contribute.
It's a fast
that.
offering.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the more I was told once, the more generous you are, the more of a blessing you'll receive. And so I thought, at the time it was like, oh, well, I'm a blessing seeker.
That's true.
I'll just pay a generous fast offering.
And we still do.
And we do now just out of habit.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So that one goes to providing food, shelter, clothing, and medical care for the needy.
Usually in your own area.
I don't know.
I said usually.
Yeah.
Okay.
It gets spread out pretty widely anyway.
Also, on that fast day, that fast Sunday, when we go to church, that meeting is called Fast and Testimony Meeting because we have the opportunity, if we would like to stand and bear our testimony of Christ and his gospel and blessings and our gratitude and our knowledge and to everyone there who is attending. And then there's other donations too.
Yeah, you can do. To missionaries. Oh, that reminds me, I keep not asking about this one fella. We may need to give him some money. The Perpetual Education Fund, which you can't donate to it anymore because it's flush.
Yes. And what it was is that, we would give to the Perpetual Education Fund, which would pay for the education of someone who
wouldn't have been able to do it
other circumstances would never have been able to go to college and get a degree.
Because college is expensive.
Especially in places like South and Central America and Africa and things like that. Anyway, and then once they graduated and got a job using their degree, they would pay it back what they used, and then that money would go towards helping another person out.
And it's worked so well that they've said, please don't donate anything more to Perpetual Education Fund. It's rolling back around like it's supposed to, and it's doing great, which totally surprises most people.
Yeah.
Because people are used to people going off to college and then not paying anything back because they're just I don't know, just because. And you can't give to temple construction anymore because that's now taken care of from tithing money.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can donate separately to, which is fine.
But we always
No.
contribute a little to
humanitarian aid. Now that goes on forever. That one never dies.
The poor will always be with us.
Yeah. Well, it isn't necessarily for the poor,
but
that's what the fast offering's for. This one's for helping out with natural disaster, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. So there's that. So, yeah. Give a little bit to humanitarian aid, too. It's a good thing. The church does a really good job of making sure that it doesn't get eaten up with administrative costs.
Yeah.
You guys probably heard that, right? I give to a charity, and like 2 cents of what I gave to the charity finally made it to helping somebody because they kept all the other money to take care of administrative costs.
Yeah.
Making somebody really, really wealthy.
Really bad.
Off of saying, I'm a good humanitarian.
Yeah.
Church doesn't do that. And I appreciate that. Okay, next. Oh, service. This hasn't come up much.
But we as members give of our time, talents, skills, goods.
Good stuff.
To help those who are in need.
Yeah.
Whether they're members of the church or not.
Absolutely.
And it could be in our area or around the world. When there's these hurricanes and stuff, there are people from a couple of states over that will drive the distance to get there,
and help people.
To go, and
live
in tents, and they wear those cute little yellow T-shirts, helping hands, and they will cut down,
and
trees
they'll help
that
you
have
clean
fallen
up and stuff like that. When people go, how are we ever going to survive? How are we going to get past this mess?
They go in and they cut out your drywall that's all mildewing.
Yeah.
And
it isn't just money; it's labor too.
Yes, and they do it for free.
We've been really fortunate. We haven't had any terrible disasters around here, and so it hasn't been needed here. It's needed in other places.
Right.
But there it is.
So
we are blessed, Heavenly Father, the Lord, which is 2 different people, but sometimes we talk about them like one person because they pretty much come as a set. They are
one in purpose.
As far as we're concerned. Anyway, so He will always reward you. And I know people think that that's kind of mystical. And it's like, yeah, sure, God will bless me for this stuff. But He does. And here's the big blessing. It says, prove me now herewith, if I will not open you the windows of heaven. Now, this is from the Bible. This isn't some weird Mormon thing. Pardon me. And pour you out a blessing that there shall not be room enough to receive it. And I think many people, including us, who have tried to be generous and always tried to give tithes and offerings, can attest to the fact that we have received amazing blessings for it.
That's true. You want to share that story of
what story?
The one church in Clovis that...
No? Well, okay. I guess I can. I had a friend who ran a daycare center, and she went and worked with me at a training center for childcare, and she told the story of her church, Baptist church, good church, and they actually experimented with tithing. Their minister, their preacher, I forget what they called, whoever it was that was kind of over, pastor could have been. He challenged them to do that, and they all got together and they said, oh, yes, we're going to do this. They did it for a month, and they did. They had great reports back about how
miracles,
these wonderful miracles, and they could feel God's hand in their lives, and it was fantastic. And Then the experiment ended, and then they stopped doing that, which was very sad.
It's like, why'd you stop?
Yeah, because I'm sure God was giving them a really big blessing boost just to say, look what happens when you actually obey this.
Yeah.
And but she told great stories of just the amazing things that happened in their church when they were paying tithing.
It's kind of sad that they didn't.
And it's kind of sad that they stopped, but apparently only some people were willing to do it that long, and that was it. So, but anyway, amazing. It isn't. It just reminds me that it isn't tied to a particular group. It isn't tied to anything except obedience to this principle.
Right. And if you look at the church, Latter-day Revelation.
Latter-day Revelation?
Yeah.
Who's that? Oh, you're talking about this down here. Okay.
Yeah. It tells of another blessing if you pay tithe.
Yeah.
And go ahead and read that.
Oh, verily it is a day of sacrifice, a day of tithing for my people, and he that is tithed shall not be burned. It is coming. So, if you're worried about Christ's second coming and what your fate is going to be, if you pay your tithing, you don't have to worry about it. You're going to be fine.
But please know that paying a tenth or even just a small percentage of your income and giving it to a charity is not the same thing
as tithing.
As tithing. You need to.
I know the Jews have kind of opened that up and said, "Oh, you just give to your favorite charity, and that takes care of it."
I think earlier there was a question.
And I think some Christian churches have done that too.
Earlier there was a question about what do you consider an honest tithe?
Yeah.
Taking a small percentage, like, oh, I'm going to give $20 and I'm going to give it to this charity. Well, first of all, that's not going to be 10% of your income. And giving it to a charity is not giving it to God. He's wanting you to give it to Him, to show Him that you love Him, that you want to obey His commandment, that you are grateful to Him for everything He gives you.
Right.
And yes, that you're putting Him before everything else. Yeah. And so if you really want these blessings, you really need to take a tenth and give it to God. Don't throw it up in the air and say, okay, God, whatever goes up there and you catch is yours and the rest that comes down is mine. No, that doesn't work. You give it to your pastor, your bishop, your reverend, your father, your whatever, whoever is in charge of your church.
Your church. And then you can anticipate these blessings
from God.
These blessings that come from it. Tithes and offerings. It's a good thing. But like I said, I just cannot, it really, I've always found that it's kind of the dividing line between those who say, oh yes, I believe in Jesus Christ and I love Him and stuff like that. And then you kind of ask, so do you pay a tithe? And they
look at you like you're crazy.
And it really ends up saying, you can talk about loving God.
Yeah.
And then, it says this is kind of like putting your money where your mouth is.
And I remember my sister, one of the qualifications for going to the temple is paying a full tithe. And she did not pay full tithe, so she couldn't get a temple recommend to go to the temple.
And it was really hard for her
because she was a single mom, and she had all these bills and all these responsibilities, and her daughter was usually sick, and she had an old car that would break down, and she'd always have to borrow money for gas, and
I don't think she trusted that she would actually be blessed.
Yes, that
becomes the real problem. You'll get what you need.
She told the stake president, okay, I'll pay my tithe. And he said, well, you have to do it for 3 months. And she was like, oh, guy, okay, I'm going to do this. And she did. And she kept expecting this rainfall of cash to hit her.
And that's not necessarily the blessing you're going to be getting.
And she finally went to my mom and said, I've been doing this for 2.5 months. I don't see any of these blessings. I haven't had a windfall of money. How is he blessing me? This isn't, And so my mom said, well, your car hasn't broken down once, so you haven't had to pay for car repairs. You haven't borrowed any gas money from me since you started paying your tithe.
Oh.
Your daughter has not been sick, so you haven't had to pay for doctor's visits and medications for your daughter, missing work so that you could be with her and take her to the doctors and things like that. She said, he's blessing you in other ways.
Yeah.
That you're not even paying attention to.
Yeah, everybody thinks it's going to be some financial windfall.
Yeah. So,
I'm not saying you can't get that, but don't be surprised if you don't.
Yes. So I promised you that if you pay your tithe honestly, that you will be blessed. And it may not be the blessings you expect, but he will bless you. And if you have your eyes open, your spiritual eyes open, you will be able to see those blessings, and your heart will be more full of love for him than ever before. I know this because this is just a part of my life. I know it without a shadow of a doubt. And it can happen for you too. I know it will.
Well, so there it is. We're done. Another exciting week, and this has been Tithes and Offerings.
We hope you have a wonderful week.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.